What's up, what's going on, YouTube? I'm back here with another video as usual. Listen, man, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy the video. I'm specifically going to be talking to new drivers in this video real quick. Because I think as a new driver, you know, you come into the industry, a lot of us, me, myself included, I'm not gonna exclude myself because I too came into this industry with this mindset. All right, so for starters, you know, there's three reasons why, you know, not three reasons, but there's three. I just gotta make sure I can make this turn. There's three main reasons people go the route of truck driving. And in no particular order, but typically when people get into truck driving, it's because they know somebody who used to drive trucks and influenced them to want to drive trucks too, because, you know, they thought it was, you know, adventurous or intriguing, you know, it's different. So, you know, they found interested in it. And plus, maybe they got a family member who drives and it's something that's in the family, or they know someone who drove and they did pretty good for themselves and they hear it's a lot of money, or they know someone who drove and they hear it's a lot of money, so they want to go get into truck driving. That's one way. Another way, you watch a lot of YouTube, you see a lot of truck drivers, they're making YouTube videos, like such as myself, making YouTube videos, you know, showing what you do on a day-to-day, you know, sleeping in their truck, decking their truck out, showing off pay stubs, showing how much money you make, going out buying scat cash and jewelry and houses sometime. And then there's three. You wasn't influenced or nothing. You just, you know, you might have heard it, you know, you might have heard it from somewhere that, you know, trucking, you know, was good, or, you know, you wanted to try something new. You know, you wanted to just try something new. But I found every time I come across a truck driver, it never fails. 99% of the time, when I come across a new truck driver, they always say either my uncle used to drive or my dad drove, or they say I was watching YouTube or I was watching TikTok. There's even some people that are subscribed to me and follow me and they're supporters and everything, and they even tell me that I'm the reason why, you know, they jumped in the truck. And I love it. I love that I can, you know, motivate someone to experience something new, whether it works out or not, you know? Because I'm the type of person, I believe in you try it. If you don't like it, you keep it moving. But those are the main three reasons why people, you know, how people get into truck driving. Those are like, I see those to be like the top, the main. Of course, there's other reasons like, you know, money, or the class might have been free. They got offered a free, I don't know. But those three are the main, but especially social media. I'm gonna emphasize more on that one. If you know any other reasons why you think, you know, people get into trucking, drop them down in the comments. But I see a lot, more times than not, social media is like the #1 influence to truck drivers getting on the road. And I think there's this misconception, and there's this picture painted with a broad brush that truck driving is going to be the same for everybody, and that could be farthest from the truth. As a new driver, I want to give you this advice, and this advice wasn't given to me. I had to figure this out, you know, the longer I drove. New drivers, don't come into this industry with a high expectation that you're going to be making a lot of money right off the rip, because you're not going to be making a lot of money off the rip. You're just not. You're a rookie. And as a rookie, you need to learn the ropes. You need to learn the road. You need to learn your truck. You need to get comfortable in your truck. You need to get familiar with the job it is that you're doing. You just need experience altogether. You just need that experience. So don't come into this with a mindset like, I'm just coming into this, I want to make mad money in my first year, first 2 years. Majority of the time, it's not going to happen. your first 2 years should be you trying to find a company that offers great training and just learning everything you can and becoming better at the job and understanding the industry more, so you can maneuver better in the industry, because there definitely is a way of maneuvering in this industry. There definitely is, especially if you want to buy your own truck. But I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't have my own truck. But just for argument's sake, learn as much as you could in the first 2 years. Use that as the learning curve, your experience. That's what you need to focus on when you first get in, your experience, because you're not gonna make that money when you first get in the industry. You're just not. A lot of these companies are not gonna want to take on rookies and pay them top dollar. That's just not how it works. Now, granted, there'll be some companies out there, and there are very few far in between, where you do a little bit of manual labor and everything, and they just pay you a couple more dollars. So you'll get paid a little more on average than a regular rookie, but you're not gonna make that much, unless you're doing maybe food service. I know there's some food service companies out there. They do hire rookies, and they offer a little more than few, a little more than a lot, the other companies do. But on average, you're not gonna be making a lot of money all like that. You're not making 90, 80, 90, 100K a year in your first year, on average. So my advice will be, don't come into it with that mindset, because if you do, you're gonna let yourself down. Because you're gonna see these checks. You're gonna get your first check. You're gonna see these checks, whether you're local or OTR. You're gonna see these checks, and you're gonna look at this shit like, what? But I have a CDL. I'm driving this big old truck. I should be getting $2,000 a week. Why is my check $700? Why is my check $800? Or maybe you do run a lot. Why is my check $1,300? So $1,500. $1,500 is like a cap. Within like $1,500, that's pretty much a cap for the most part, standard everywhere. I noticed that. But some drivers are not even getting that, and they're OTR, living in their truck. So I say that to say, don't come in this with a mindset like you're gonna just make all this money your first year, or even your second year. You need to learn the game. You need to learn the road. You need to learn the industry. You need to get familiar with your truck. You need to be comfortable in your truck. You need to know this shit, because it's not gonna happen overnight. It's just not. Your first year is gonna be trial and error. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes. You're gonna learn from those mistakes, hopefully. And then within that time frame, things will start to catch on. You'll start to realize, hey, is this for me or is this not for me? Start getting all your endorsements, so that way, you get your hazmat, your tankers, your doubles and triples, get your twig, get your passport, get all that under your belt, because when you have all that, you have a wider door to walk through of options of jobs you can go to. So you don't have to just do dry van. You could jump into tankers if you wanted to, or you could jump into doubles and triples if you wanted to. A lot of those driving positions offers a lot of money than what you're getting when you're first starting out, because you're a rookie and you're just pulling a dry van. It's just it's all about getting that experience. So get all your endorsements under there so you have more opportunities. It doesn't guarantee you more money, but for the most part, those type of jobs that requires you to have those endorsements, a lot of the times they're gonna pay a little more, because you're doing something extra. You're pulling a triple trailer. You're hauling fuel. So it's gonna be a little more money because you're doing something extra. And it's kind of the same thing when you're doing anything that you gotta do, loading and unloading. A lot of the times there too, you're gonna get paid a little extra because you're doing something extra. But either way, you're not gonna get that, that high pay money that you're looking for right off the bat. You can't go into a corporate building, get hired on the first day, and expect to get, the salary that the boss does. You gotta work your way up, and that's just how it is here. And your first year, that's all learning, making mistakes. Within that second year, that's making more mistakes, more learning, and getting comfortable. And that's when you can start looking around and being a little bit more picky, because you have the years under your belt, and you also have the endorsements under your belt. And companies do look at that. A company will be willing to offer someone a job who has 2+ years with all their endorsements and pay them what they're asking for versus a rookie that just got out of school with no endorsements, or 1 year, you know, no endorsements. It makes a difference, man. It does make a difference. I see that, and I'm going through that, so I understand it does make a difference. When I was first coming into this, I came in with it with just the money mindset. I won't lie to you. I'm not no better than anyone else who came in it with the money mindset. I came in here like, yeah, I'm gonna make mad money. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Whoop, 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 whoop. But what I didn't realize is that first year, you ain't gonna be making a lot of money like that. That second year, you ain't gonna be making a lot of money like that either. It comes in time, over time. I think once you reach that second year, you got more wiggle room, because that's typically the base level of most companies. You know, like Walmart, for instance, they want you to have at least 2 years before they even hire you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so you just, you know, you just level the playing field like that. You know, you just go put that 2 years in, grind out, stay humble, stack your bread up, learn as much as the game as you can. You know, get comfortable with driving, get familiar with the road, read the road, learn how to read the road and read what the cars are gonna do, what other trucks are gonna do. You know, breathe it, you know, become what you're doing, man. You gotta breathe it, because at the end of the day, whether you're local or OTR, trucking becomes your life, you know. Your life will revolve around this truck, whether you're trucking or whether you're local or whether you're OTR or regional. Your life will revolve around this truck. Now, I'm local. Even though I get out of this truck every day and go home, besides the days I stay out at the hotel, but for the most part, every day I get out this truck, I go home, I still know in the back of my mind, I have to plan whatever I'm doing outside. I have to plan around and plan accordingly, because I know I still got to come back to this truck to make my money. So either way you cut it, your life will revolve around the truck. So you have to get familiar with that. You got to accept it and get comfortable with that, you know? It just make it a lot easier. You know, a lot of times we come into this and we just want everything off the top, and it's not gonna be like that. And I just wanna, you know, make a video and talk about that with you new drivers, because I was there before. And I wasn't, you know, I was expecting something totally different. I thought I was gonna be making a whole bunch of money, man. My first year, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be making bank. Now, don't get me wrong, I come from a background of construction and manufacturing. So I am making a lot more money, you know, driving a truck than I did manufacturing and construction. So for me, it's still like a lot of money, because I'm making more than what I did there. But I know I could be making more because I have now 2+ years and all my endorsements. So I know I have a lot of options now. I know I could be a little more pickier. So that's what causes me to make the video, you know what I'm saying? I want to look back in hindsight, you know, take what I learned and give you guys that information, because I don't know if you know about that information or anything like that. I made this channel specifically for new drivers who are on the journey with me or who was coming into the journey. If you're already a driver, you already been driving longer than 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, for the most part, you probably can't get nothing from me, because you already been there, done that. You walked through that already, you know? But someone coming from behind me, I got something I can offer them. I got something I can teach them, because they haven't walked there yet. So that's why I made this channel, man. It was specifically, you know, to document my journey, to show what it is I'm doing, both the good and bad, the mistakes, what I learned from the mistakes, how I overcame through the mistakes, and teach it right back to you guys so you can see what it is and you can learn from those mistakes, or you could just observe, you know, for entertainment. Maybe you just want to be entertained, like, yeah, this is cool. Or, you know, you want to see what it is before you decide to get into it. You know, whatever. I just know I put these videos out with a purpose. I want to give out any information that I could give out. I try my best not to give out any wrong information. We live in a time now you can search up whatever you want. So even if I tell you something, I still want you to go do your own research, because like I said, we live in a time where there's so much information out there. A lot of things could get misconstrued, twisted, said the wrong way or took in the wrong way. I just prefer you guys, you know, no matter, and it's not even go for me. Whether I tell you, your best friend tell you, shit, your own mother could tell you something. Go do your own research, you know, find out, you know, just fact check all your answers, you know. But I think when it comes to experience, I think when it comes to experience, that's a different type of knowledge because I actually lived it. The person actually lived it. So it's more, it's more credible, I would say. Like if someone's telling you something by experience, it's credible for the most part. It's credible for the most part. But either way, what I'm trying to get at is, man, I made this channel specifically, to give out information and to share and to teach anybody who's coming up under me or anybody who has any, interest in driving trucks and what it's like to drive a truck and how to solve certain problems. I don't know it all yet. I'm only, a little over 2 years in and I'm still learning. It's like every few days or so I'm learning something new or I'm discovering something new, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be like that. And it might be like that for the duration of my trucking journey. Who knows? But I'm not gonna get up in this truck every day and just pretend I know it all. No. So if I'm on here and I'm talking to you guys and I'm showing you guys something or I'm teaching you guys something, it's because I just went through it, I just learned it, or I just discovered it, or someone just taught it to me, or I just literally been through it. I'm never gonna try to feed you guys false information. So as me making this video for new drivers today, I just really wanna get through to you to help you with that little information that I just gave, Just don't come into this with a high expectation because you will let yourself down. You're gonna be sitting up there thinking you're gonna make all this money, and when you don't see all this money, you're gonna be let down, and you might wanna walk away from the truck after that because you thought you was gonna make all this money, but that's not how it goes. On average, it's just not gonna be how it goes. You might get lucky and find a small mom and pop company or another company that's offering just a little bit more, but it's gonna be so hard to find that as a new truck driver. So, weigh out the options that you do got for the time being and go with the best option for you. Training is, I wanna stress this, training is number one when you first get in the truck. Depending who trains you and how they train you, that's so important because when I was with Amazon, I started off with Amazon, I had maybe like 3 people show me certain things and they all showed me certain things differently. They all had their own way of doing things. They had their own way of saying things. So learning from different people, and it's like, all right, well, which way is the right way to do it? Then I don't know. You have to just use your better judgment and, go from there. So getting that experience and learning is the most important thing as a new driver, and that should be your main focus. How do I properly drive this truck? How do I properly identify things on this truck that I need to identify? How do I notice certain things? Like, how do I do certain things when it comes to this truck or when it comes to being on the road? It's a lot you gotta learn that you don't even think about because you're not there yet. So getting the proper training is the number one. Focus on that first. Getting all your endorsements. If you wanna, see what else is out there, you have your endorsements. You could try different things. You could try flatbed. You could try tankers. You could do wide, the big wide loads. You could do whatever. You just have to get that experience and the time under your belt. Time. And just don't have no expectation of coming to this thinking you're gonna be making all this bread, because that's not how it's gonna work. On average. I have to always preface that. On average. Cause I know, man, we see these videos, man, we get sucked in, like it looks so much fun. Everyone looks like they're getting paid, they're balling, but they don't really show you what it took for them to get there. They don't show you those $600 checks, that they really got, or sometimes even $300 checks that they got after being out for so and so weeks in the beginning. They don't show you that in the beginning. They just show you the highlight. They show you the highlight. When I first started with Amazon, I was getting paid $7 and change every 2 weeks. That's nothing. That's like a little, let's just round it off to a little bit under $400 every week. That's nothing. That's like going back to a warehouse and working in a warehouse, But I knew I had to stick it through until I could, get my experience in, get my time in, and then I can demand more because I have that experience and that time and those endorsements under my belt that opens more doors for me. So that's why I say that, man. Focus, Focus on finding training. The right company that's gonna train you. That should be that should be your focus. I know we all want money. I know we're living in a time now where everyone's trying to make money, trying to grind, trying to get there, got bills to pay, got shit to do, got children, got trips they want to take, got goals to reach. I understand that completely. But just understand it's not gonna come in your first year, man. It's just not. So just focus on getting that good training and you'll be all right, man. You'll be all right. And I know you see the videos, you see me make other videos. I show you everything I could show you in that moment, in real time, in my real time. As I'm recording, that's exactly what's happening. I don't go put on, a show to try to pretend like this is what's really happening if it's not. If I'm having a bad day, you're gonna see it. You're gonna probably even feel it just by watching the video. You'll probably know it was a bad day because I'm gonna be probably swearing and showing you why. If I'm having issues with my truck, I'm not gonna stop the camera and pretend there's no issue. No, I'm gonna show you there's an issue with my truck, so you can know this is what's really going on out here. If I go if I pull over to the side and I drive too far and I end up in mud and I can't get my truck out the mud, I'm not gonna stop my camera, get my truck out the mud, and then continue the video like nothing happened. No, I'm gonna show you, hey, look guys, this is what happens if you go deep down in some mud in the tractor trailer. It's gonna be hard to get it out. This is what I did. Don't do this. I wanna show you. I document this journey because I wanna show people who are coming after me what it's really like out here. Yes, I make it look, maybe I make it look fun, because sometimes it is fun. Sometimes when I jump in this truck, I have a good time because, the mood is right, the vibe is right, the day is going good. I started off having a good day. It just was a good day overall. But I don't have good days every day. Some days are bad and some days are bad. And I don't want to turn on the camera, but I gotta turn on the camera. Like, you know what? I'm having a bad day because this tractor's not working. There's something going on with the lines, and I'm not gonna pull this trailer if I can't get these lines situated. But I'm gonna turn that camera on and I'm gonna document what's going on with my lines and why I'm having problems with my lines, or I'm gonna show you what's going on with my coolant because there's something going on with my coolant. You need to know that these things are gonna happen. So yeah, you might see videos, it might look fun, but they never show you what really happens out here. They don't show you the trucks that are, that are down on the side of the road for hours because of a blown tire, or it just randomly stopped, it just randomly died out, or, anything can happen. Anything can happen on this road, anything. So those are the type of things I like to, make sure I could show, so you get to see what's really going on. And I just make it look fun because overall I'm just a positive person. So I still like to bring that positivity to you guys because, why not? We're all in this together, so why not? But, I say all that to say this, man. I wish all the new drivers the best of luck. And if I could say anything, I just say, learn, get trained, and learn as much as you could in that first year. 2 years, mainly. Learn as much as you could within your first 2 years. Try to learn from all those mistakes you made so you don't have to make them again. You most likely will because you're not going to want to make those mistakes again. Especially the small, the big ones. The big ones that you could come back from. The big mistakes you can't come back from, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you about those ones. But if you make mistakes and you could come back from those mistakes, you're going to obviously learn from those mistakes and you're not going to make them again. And you can also go teach the next person. Each person teach somebody, So what I could teach you, you could take from me and take, what you learned from me and go teach it to someone else, and then they could go teach it to someone else. And it's like, it's a never-ending thing. It's just, everybody feeds each other, It's a community. I don't have to know you, but someone that knew about me could have learned from you, It's just paying it forward, man. I figured this is my way of paying it forward, just giving out information and teaching what it is I do know. I can't teach somebody who's been in the truck longer than me how to do anything, But someone who's behind me, I could teach them everything I know already, you know, and we could continue to learn together. You know, the more I learn, I could come back to you. So guys, check this out. This is also what I learned, or this is what I'm gonna show you today. You know, it's all about learning. And I think being a truck driver, I don't know. Like I said, I'm only 2 years, and I haven't stopped learning. Every time I look around, I'm like, damn, I never knew that. And it could be something so small. It could be something so small. Like, whoa, I didn't know that. You're never gonna stop learning. But in the first 2 years, it's very important that you do get, you know, you find out where you could get the best training and to learn, because that's gonna really determine if you're a good driver. What you learn and how you learn. Because if you don't get the right amount of training, you're just gonna make a lot of mistakes. So that's why I'm stressing it, man. I'm stressing getting good training. I'm not gonna say I had good training per se, because I really kind of didn't. You know, I had a couple of people show me things here and there, but I never really sat with somebody for weeks at a time for them to show me. I think the longest I sat with someone was, 3 days? What's 3 days? But anyways, yeah, man. Again, your first few years, you're not gonna make a lot of money, so kill that expectation. Come in it with a mindset, you know, and a plan. Come in it with a plan. That's another thing I wanna stress too, because trucking ain't for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. Once you get into it and you start to really see it for what it really is, because trucking is not what people think it is. Whatever you see, whatever people hype it up to be and glamorize it to be, you're gonna see your own perspective on it, and you're gonna get your own experience of it when you are physically there. My experience is not gonna be yours. Their experience ain't gonna be mine. So just because you see me doing what I'm doing and I'm, you know, enjoying it, and I'm doing what I do and I'm showing, don't mean that's gonna be you. And vice versa. Just because I see a guy he's 10 years in and he's so successful, he's doing all this, he's great, that don't mean it's gonna be like that for me. You have to get into this and figure it out for yourself if this is really for you. And that's why I say come into it with a plan, because that way, if it's not something that's for you, you have a plan of exit. Whether it's to do something different after, or because you just don't, you know, it's just not for you, because it's not. But yeah, man, I think I said enough. I just wanted to throw that out there and give my little think piece on what I think about new drivers coming into the game, and just give you a little bit of advice on that, man. So I hope you could take something from it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I need y'all to hype this video up so it can push it through the algorithm, so I can have more drivers like yourself coming through and learning from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe.